Welcome to Fort Worth. Make sure you don't, if you're down here, make sure you don't say, hey, I'm in Dallas, okay? Just a little word to the wise. People from Fort Worth do not even like the fact that they're part of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. So again, just beware of that. But again, great venue here at the Omni Fort Worth. Oh, thank you. Perfect. So we're really excited to be here. We're excited that you've taken the time to come out here this year to support the association and again, kind of participate in some things that we've changed up this year, some better, what we think are some enhancements. We've got some great speakers. We've got some great opportunities. On each one of the seats in front of you is kind of a handout, so hopefully everybody has a pen. When our keynote speaker, Kenny Chapman, gets up here, he's going to ask you to kind of do a little bit of an activity, and we're really excited about having him here. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. Again, welcome to Fort Worth. And this year, NAMFS 31 finds the industry facing kind of a variety of challenges. Volumes are down, turnaround times are expedited even more. The length of time that we have properties in our inventory, where we got used to having things for years, shall we say. Now there are some states, obviously, that we're still going through that, but everything's very much shortened. So the opportunities are really, really limited. So for those of you, and let me see a show of hands, who's been in the industry for more than 5 years? More than 10? Okay. More than 15? So 15 years ago, I entered into this space, 2004. I can recall working at what was then Fidelity National Field Services. For those of you who remember that company, it's now ServiceLink Field Services for a couple iterations. I remember coming in and starting in February, Groundhog's Day, 2004. You know how many work orders we had come in that day? 62. 62 work orders for a national. The next day it was 51. The next day it was 63. And I'll be honest with you, as someone who had left the environmental industry and had come into this industry, I was sitting there wondering to myself, whoa, I've got 20 people that I'm in charge of. And we got 62 work orders today for those people to work on. And that was back in the day when you got a fax, okay? So you couldn't even cut and paste like you can today, right? So again, it would take a little bit longer, but those are some of the challenges. Back then as well, default, once we started with the foreclosure process, things along those lines, 60 to 120 days, once that property went, and it was gone. During this crisis, we got used to having properties for years, inclusive of grass cuts, inclusive of inspections, inclusive of all those types of things. At the same time, we also got used to reading what the work order told me to do, not what the guidelines tell me to do. It's a big, big difference, and it's definitely one of those things that the association is aware of. And again, we just recorded a webinar not too long ago, and in it, one of the questions about E&O insurance, and I know that's always a touchy subject because it costs so much and volumes are down, but the reality is why would I be at risk? I'm just doing exactly what it says to do on the work order. For those of you who've been in this industry for 15 years, 10 years, you remember what the updates were for HUD, Fannie, and Freddie. You remember being able to quote those guidelines verbatim. And now it's kind of gone down the other road. So again, exposure risk is definitely one of those big things. So again, varieties of challenges. More focused on technology solutions. Again, 2009, I think was, kind of those first years of the adoption of smartphones. So if you go back and look at some of those old movies from 2009, 2010, people are pulling out phones and they're flip phones, right? And we look at that and we go, who has a flip phone? Everything, technology is moving hyper fast, whether it's how I have to update work orders, whether it's how I have to find work. That opportunity has really changed the game for the industry. And so again, technology solutions and being able to have something that automates and gets the work done faster, can help QC, has a longevity, data, all those types of things. It's really changing the industry, and those are things that we're really looking on and trying to focus on as an association to bring those best-in-class things. One of the reasons why we restarted the technology committee. So, as we look at what does video look like in the near future, as that continues to be pushed, can we have some standards around that? Because again, that's just another cost that everyone has to think that, oh, well, there's no development to it. There's no cost to it, but there is. And then the reality is we also need to come together as an association, as an industry, and raise our voice. One of the challenges that we constantly face is, I'm this company versus this company. I'm a provider of service. I'm a direct provider of service. We got into that for the longest time, nationals versus regionals. At some point, we become, investor insurers against field service providers. The reality is we need to come together and we need to have a dialogue and we need to try and promote solutions that, have meaning to all of us. And that doesn't mean that, hey, we get an allowable increase like we did for Fannie and Freddie for clearboarding, where the association went to bat. Or again, the association has been part of many groups that have advocated for higher pricing in relation to some services. And that doesn't mean that doesn't get passed down. And that means valuing your business. And that doesn't mean just the person who's doing the service. That's everyone in the chain has to know that they provide value. If you don't provide value or you don't think that you provide value, don't expect your client to provide or think that you're going to provide value. So again, that's an opportunity for the association to come together. The conference this year, great opportunity. Initiatives that the leadership has kind of pursued. We're trying to change the industry, trying to provide additional information. We've got a lot of new exhibitors this year, first time, again, with that focus on technology. So again, spend some time through the exhibits, taking a look, figuring out, what are some solutions that you can possibly do. And again, the biggest thing that we're trying to do this year is improve your knowledge of facing your business. So again, it's going to be things around the guidelines, state of the industry, needs from servicers, as well as just your basic business. And that's why we got Kenny Chapman here. So what have we done this past year? We have enhanced the website. So for example, those of you who have actually gone out and taken a look at the conference website, it's quite extensive. It's not just one page. It's about 12 to 13 pages that were created. Again, with our new CRM, we're able to kind of do some different things. So it's a really good opportunity. So if you haven't visited, please do take a chance to look at it. We also enhanced the NAMFS Academy, put a new face on it. We're also, with that type of update to that system, we're also able to kind of create new content. So again, with our education and membership committee, we're looking to add some additional content there, even if it's just free content, so that we can add additional value to the membership. We did put in opportunity posts. So for example, if you're advertising a need for work, or you need vendors, or you need employees, or you need anything like that, it's an opportunity that you can put on there. It stays up there for 30 days. We do a lot of social media blasts, pushing people back to that. So again, it is something that we're very happy. Members and non-members alike are able to post. So again, take a look at that. We did talk about the Leadership Summit, and we did a very big kind of announcement about what went on there, and a recap. And we provided PowerPoints and presentations for the membership. And we talked about vendor trade agreements, and we talked about payment issues. And we talked about the NAMFS brand and marketing. And so again, if any of those things are really appealing to you or interesting to you, please reach out to us and let's get involved. But We're hoping that within the next month or so, we'll have kind of a finalized document that will help people on vendor trade agreements. At that point with the new board, we'll be taking a look at some of these other issues to try and bring additional kind of closure to the items that were identified, or perhaps put those down as items for consideration in 2020 at that leadership summit. We did announce an Accelerate America member benefit program. So again, I know it's somewhat limited, but it is with Office Depot and also has some things with Dell. Right now, there's some specials going on there where you can actually get an additional 15% off for the Labor Day sale. Even though Labor Day was on Monday, it somehow runs through the end of September, but hey, it's 15%, so hey, why not, right? So again, we take a look at those types of things. We continue to try and figure out what additional benefits are out there. If you have some suggestions or ideas, by all means, please reach out to us. Let us know about maybe a particular program that you're involved in that you think you might like us to take a look at. We've done some things, great things with some partner companies, technology committees. And so one of those partnerships is, and he's right back there, Jeff Schott with Earth Visions. One of those, they sat down and we talked about what could we provide to the membership that would add benefit. And one of those things was a free version of Earth Visions. And so at any point, at any time as a member, you can log into the website, go out to that page, and you're going to get a daily recap of anything that you want. I want to say there's like 40 or 50 distinct events at least. And it has drill down on top of it. And it has a graph that lays out the area that's impacted. It has all those types of things. And again, it's a member benefit, but it's only a member benefit if we use it. So again, take a look at some of those types of situations. We have done some webinars most recently. Like I mentioned, we did the one on non-compete, non-solicitations. We also had one where we talked about insurance, and thank you to Ruth Kraft and James Rumbaugh for those. If you have suggestions for webinars, again, please let us know. If you have some type of product or something that you'd like to let the membership know about, again, we have our member e-blast. We have these types of webinars. We have a lot of opportunities where we can talk to our members, not only just through our normal email channels, but we also have social media. So don't know if you know it, but we're on Instagram, NAMFS1. Follow us. We have NAMFS on at NAMFS on Twitter, National Association of Mortgage Field Services page on Facebook. We have the LinkedIn company page. So again, we try and get that information out to you and however you'd like to digest it. But again, if you have some suggestions, please let us know. We're always looking to try and figure out what we can do to better enhance the association. And then most recently at the board meeting yesterday, the board heard a proposal to take in or create a form that our members can report information as it relates to industry issues, payments, those types of things that will allow us to kind of collect all that information, centralize it, be able to put some reports together, and also memorialize it. One of the biggest challenges that we constantly hear is, well, NAMFS doesn't do this. NAMFS doesn't do that. NAMFS does a lot of things. NAMFS is not a public flogging forum. That is not what it is. That's not what the board decided. That's not what the association members have decided. But we do. We have hard conversations quite frequently with people as it's related to, hey, I haven't been paid, or we don't like this. And we do bring that to the attention. Now, does that mean NAMFS is an arbiter currently? No. Does that mean that it won't be in the future? No. But for right now, again, the association does a lot of things on its members' behalf, and it is brought back to the board, and ultimately sometimes the board takes action. And sometimes, we don't take action in the way that you or as it's personalized, you may feel is necessary. So again, working on that and more to come, and again, that'll be a big announcement once we finalize it. So thank you to Scott Nurden with Inspector Aid for kind of talking a little bit through that. So some changes to this year's conference. We're going to be in a single room. This is going to be where we'll have our breakout sessions, quote unquote, technology sessions, general sessions. In the past, we've had you kind of going all across the hotel, right? And worse yet, this year, you would have been up on the 3rd floor. So you'd have been down here, go around the corner, go up some stairs or get on the elevator and then walk down to Sundance 1, 2, and 3, and 4. What we decided this year is let's consolidate. Let's have meaningful sessions and let's have everybody participate so that everybody isn't checking and saying, oh, well, I really want to go to this one, but there's this one. We realize that right now it's not advantageous for people to bring 5 and 6 people to the conference anymore. You know, the numbers don't justify it. So again, we've made some changes there. We've got keynote speakers for Thursday and Friday, and those are with different focuses. So Kenny's going to come up here in a little bit, and he's going to talk about his mindset makeover. And then tomorrow we're going to have Rick Sharga over here, and Rick Sharga is going to talk about the changes to the way that the housing market is. And then we'll go into our normal general sessions. We have a great session on re-energizing your business. And then we have another great session on, goodness knows, the classification conundrum. So, and we were just being told in the board meeting that California has passed or taken another step towards AB5 codifying of the Dynamex decision. So lots of changes happening there, and again, we'll be talking about those. We've got the raffle prizes this year. We're going to do raffles again today at lunch. We're going to do raffles at the award session today, kind of the closing session today, and then tomorrow at lunch. If you're interested in raffle tickets, there's some information on the rotator, but you can also purchase those at the registration desk, and you can also purchase them, you know, we'll have them out just before we make any announcement. This year, the prizes are all gift certificates, $100 and $200 Visa gift certificates, not to Aeropostale, which is kind of where I shop. I don't know about you guys, but you know, Forever 21, you know, kind of looking good here, so. And then finally, we do have the mobile app. So in the past, we've done things like, hey, we print out a big book and those types of things. We have guidebooks. So again, if you have time right now, it's the one time I'll tell you to pick out your phone and take it out. Guidebook.com/redeem. And then when it asks you to enter the passphrase, put in NAMFS Fort Worth, and that's going to bring down the app for you. Once you do that, please make sure you enter yourself as an attendee. Once you enter yourself as an attendee, you're able to make connections with other people who've registered. You can request meetings. You can do all sorts of things. You're going to see PDFs and advertisement type information on some exhibitors, some sponsors. People have taken the time to provide information that they want to give to you in a different format or a different digestion. So again, take some time, download the Guidebook mobile app. This year is an election year for the president and vice president. So just kind of a quick recap. Voting procedure. It is 1 vote per member company. 1 vote per member company. We will be voting or polling at the registration desk. We can start as soon as this session ends, and it will run all the way until 5 o'clock today. At that point, voting does close. So please do make sure you vote. Again, 1 vote down there, we will check you off. If you are here with multiple people, and please confer amongst yourself who is voting for you, because the last thing we hate to do is say, you know, Chad comes up and says, hey, I want to vote. And I go, well, Jen already voted, and so we can't do that. So again, please kind of work those types of things out. With that, I'm going to go ahead and give the candidates for the 2 positions, president and vice president, some time to speak. So first I'm going to bring up Jim Vaca. Jim is running as vice president.
So thanks everybody for giving me some time this morning. As Eric said, Jim Vaca, I'm with Altisource. Been active with NAMFS for the past few years, mostly active on the background check committee. Then last year joined as an active board member, which I still am today, and been in the industry for just about 5 years. And really what I want to leave you all with today is that there needs to be really defined value add to not only the vendor members, but as well as clients to the industry as well, to really bolster what NAMFS is all about. So there are three quick areas that I'll communicate for my vision on NAMFS and coming as vice president, something that I'll help push with the organization. So one is, what should NAMFS continue doing? And Eric highlighted a lot of this during his opening remarks. But the NAMFS Training Academy is extremely valuable. With the AB law in California, I think there's some things that we can do with the training to take some risk out of the organization when you come to employee versus contractor laws, and really even take it to a place where it's almost a forum for continuing education. Attending industry events. I think it's important that NAMFS continue to make a presence at the various industry events that are out there to, again, propagate NAMFS as an organization to others who might not be involved. Webinars, as Eric mentioned. These are extremely important to bring experts in the field who many of us might not have access to for things such as employment classification or sales tax applicability. And then a news blog. So really a stronger social media push and increased velocity of content, whether it's YouTube training videos, first to test new technology in the field, looking at new laws, blight, zombie, code enforcement relationships, and then reestablish our subcommittees as well, especially the membership committee, really driven by active members today to go gain new members. Second, what should NAMFS consider stop doing? One thing we should look at is having a captive industry standard background check. So we only have one provider today that does that for us. And reconsider the efforts put into the NAMFS Foundation and take a look at what we've done there and if we should continue doing that. And then third, what should NAMFS start doing? One, I think, is we need to look outside at other industry organizations similar to ours outside of our own industry to see what they have done to successfully encourage growth. We all know volumes are down in the industry, our membership is down. We're not the first industry to face this and go through this, so there's others I think we can focus on. Focus, again, on new membership. And I'm not talking just about field vendors and solution providers, but a more active presence from banks, servicers, GSEs, agency, and code enforcement. I think there's a good opportunity for us to expand our membership and what our membership focuses on. I think we need to partner more closely with FHA, HUD, the MBA, P&P to help drive some of the things that we see every day in the field that they might not have that same visibility of some of the inefficiencies or risks that, by delaying changes or maybe not even realizing some things need changed, without having the single voice that we can go to from NAMFS. A couple more things is really looking at our budget and what impactful initiatives should we undertake to best utilize that budget and achieving specific goals every quarter that we can report out to the membership on. Create a member-to-member blog where companies can assist without the risk of outsiders posting anti-NAMFS rhetoric. So I know there's multiple places on social media where you can post, and you have to be careful what you post because there's a lot of folks out there who want to bring negative perspective versus actually trying to help and be a member-to-member network where we can share best practices and figure out how we can each work through any issues that we're facing. And then around innovation and really working with third-party apps and other solution providers to bring innovation that the industry needs and stay on top of that innovation and communicate that to the membership. So with that, I thank you for the time today and your consideration for me as Vice President for NAMFS.
And our candidate for president, Matt Zoldowski.
All right. As Eric said, my name is Matt Soldowski. I appreciate your time today. Just a quick history on who I am. A lot of you know me from different roles. I started out prior to the industry. I was a lender in the manufactured home industry, went through the default crisis there, left that industry, went to being a mortgage wholesaler, went through the default there, thought, oh my gosh, I keep creating many issues, so I'm going to have to go on the side that cleans up those issues. So Bob and I had started a contracting company back in 2005 where we were just getting into things, looking at it, figuring out, oh my gosh, what's going on? So we started as a contracting company, solving our own issues. We ended up creating a software program. So I left the contracting side, moved over to the software side. During that time, I also became a NAMFS board member, learned things from another perspective. How is everybody else looking at the industry? As a tech provider, I saw small companies, medium companies, large companies, and we tried to help solve their issues. That's what I want to do with NAMFS, is help solve your issues and help define who we are as a organization. Currently, as most of you know, I've transitioned again into a new role. Now I'm more of a consultant. In that scenario, again, I'm here to help the association, here to help former companies and other friends in the industry. From my experience in this industry, I see there's 3 key points that I want to address at NAMFS. The first one is, what's our direction? Who are we and why are we here? Jim really addressed that very succinctly. I think there's a lot of features in that, or facets to that, that we need to address. And if we don't do that now, who is? In the past, since I've been around and been through this industry, been here at NAMFS, we do a lot of things where we look at it and we say, all right, what's everybody else think? And we wait for a direction. I'd like to take that direction and drive that direction forward. I'd like to set some standards. Standards doesn't mean everybody has to do everything the same way, but there is a basic standard. We all agree there shouldn't be any water in the lines on a winterization. Well, that's a standard. We can all agree on some certain things to start that conversation, and those standards can evolve, but we have to start somewhere and agree that let's all pick something that we can agree on and move forward from there. And we have to increase involvement. Again, a lot of people, they come here, they participate in the conference, and then they wait till next year or they wait till the leadership conference. We really need to address the issues, get out there, each of us commit an hour a month just to helping the association, helping the industry. It's going to help each one of us. I've talked to a lot of people over the last 2 days and they're, oh, congratulations on running for NAMFS, congratulations on selling your company. And I've jokingly said, hey, I'm kind of taking the Brewster's Million approach, just vote no, none of the above. And I really feel like that's what we've done in association and as an industry. We see, oh, here's choice A and here's choice B, none of the above. When I've looked at my business, my kids, everything else, I tell everybody, don't bring me the problem, bring me the solution. Let's pick a solution and move forward from there. I'll be reaching out to each of you guys to help and reach and achieve these goals. Find out what your goals are for the association as well. Let's drive this forward and make this a very successful year so that next year we're coming back and celebrating our successes, not worrying about, oh my gosh, business is down. Let's figure out how we can help each other to increase our profitability in business. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you both. Again, good vision, and I appreciate you guys stepping up and running for those positions. So thank you very much. The new board will be announced at the presidential reception. So again, we will announce the full board. We do want to take a second to thank those people who are on expired terms. So Justice Smith, our president, her term is ending. Scott Gilbert, our current vice president, his term is ending. Suzanne Phillips, who, gosh, Suzanne, what is it? Long time. It's been quite some time. It's been our secretary, is stepping down as well. And then Keith O'Donnell, our treasurer, who had stepped in and has done a wonderful job for us. Those are the officers that are leaving. Jim would actually be stepping down. Al Friedman, gosh, wait a minute now. I had these all, and now, of course, I'm going blank. But like I said, we do want to thank all of the people who have participated in the board. It is quite a big change for us. Every 2 years, we not only replace 4 sitting board members, but we also replace our officers. A lot of times, the secretary and treasurer end up staying because those are difficult positions to fill. But again, we do want to thank everyone for that, and we will announce the new board at the presidential reception, and then have that up as part of the website as well. So with that, I'm going to take it to a happy place here, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the James R. Duncan Memorial Scholarship. And so the James R. Duncan Memorial Scholarship is something that's awarded through the NAMFS Foundation, something that was started about 7 years ago through a one-time grant from Connie Thomas and from Joel Irish with Hawkeye Field Services and with Nationwide Property Services. Even though they only covered California and Arizona, I've always found that name fascinating. But James R. was a wonderful person, a true gentleman, and believed really, really strongly in giving back. And when he was taken from us suddenly, his friends wanted his name to live on. And so they came to the association and talked about it, and ultimately we created the NAMFS Foundation, which is a true 501c3. And like I said, with that initial $5,000, we set aside an annual $1,000 award scholarship to individuals who can be associated with NAMFS. They don't have to be a NAMFS member. Again, the idea was if you worked for a NAMFS member or anything along those lines, giving people an opportunity to get a scholarship. And it's not just college. It can be trade school. It can be certification classes. It can be anything along those lines. And every year, we put a bunch of information out, post it on social media. And, this year we did have some applicants. And so we're really excited to award this year's James R. Duncan Memorial Scholarship to Allie Gilbert. So Allie Gilbert is our 2019 Scholarship Award winner. She's already completed her associate's degree. She's furthering her education and this is because we have non-Ohio State fans here. I just did call it Ohio State University, not the Ohio State University. So Keith, I'll take that $10 afterwards because I did that for you, right? So, and then Allie is associated through Miles Preservation, and her father is Scott Gilbert. So congratulations to Allie.